We've all been there. Standing in the grocery store, taking an item off the shelf, and reading off its nutrition label. GMO-free? Organic? Antibiotic-free? What all these labels mean? Welcome to Finger Lakes Agricultural Tours, where we unravel the mystery behind these food labels by introducing you to your food producers, their practices, and by letting you taste the final product. My name is Gabriella Taylor, and I'm the founder of Finger Lakes Agricultural Tours. If you felt that feeling in the grocery store, you're not alone. Over 67% of consumers find it challenging to understand if a product is really offering them something that they need just by looking at the label. By introducing consumers to the experts on why these labels exist, our food producers, we hope to solve some of this consumer confusion. We also hope to improve consumer trust. Currently, only 1 person in 5 has a high level of trust in modern agriculture. By bridging the gap between consumers and farmers, we hope that they're able to build relationships and trust among each other. Finger Lakes Agricultural Tours is our solution. It's a fun and interactive way to learn about your local food producers while investing in local businesses. Finger Lakes Agricultural Tours is a charter bus tour of 4 farms in the Finger Lakes region, led by your producers, where you'll be able to taste wine, hard cider, apples, goat cheese, and other seasonal fruits. To help you visualize what the tours will look like a little more, all of the pictures included in this deck are from our host farms in the Finger Lakes region. Speaking of our host farms, let me introduce you to them. We have a sheep and goat farm and creamery in Groton, New York, called Old Chatham Creamery. We have Albany Farms, a dairy in Newark, New York. Balkerson Winery, a winery and vineyard in Dundee, New York, and a seasonal fruit producer and processor in Wayne County, New York, called the Apple Shed. We like to tailor each tour to the region and what they have to offer. So for example, dairy is actually the largest agricultural industry in New York, with apples being the second. And Wayne County, where the Apple Shed is located, is actually the largest apple producer east of the Mississippi River. There's also over 70 wineries in the region. So you can tell that these farms were handpicked based on what they offered the region and what the region overall has to offer. So who am I? My agricultural journey started with hands-on experiences through 4-H, the Holstein Association, and junior dairy leaders. I didn't grow up on a farm, which is why I know programs like this work. You took me, an informed consumer, and turned them into informed and invested part of the agricultural community. I'm currently a junior strategic communications major with a political science minor at St. Bonaventure University, and I've spent over a decade in dairy promotion. 9 years of that was spent at the county level and 1 year as the New York State Dairy Ambassador, where I participated in TV and radio interviews, speeches, and creating beef on dairy recipes with the New York Beef Council, such as other fun events. Through my youth involvement, I also have connections to farmers in the Finger Lakes and across the country. In addition to that, I have a team that shares invaluable expertise, both in their agricultural sector as well as entrepreneurship, who are each as equally dedicated to our mission as I am. Our mission is to create an exciting way to experience the farm-to-table journey with an emphasis on trust, transparency, and community. We believe that by being honest and transparent storytellers of the agriculture industry, that we can build trust and community between consumers and farmers. So let's take a little bit of a look into our market. Generally, it's men and women aged 25 through 65 with a bunch of different segments. Starting off with young adults who are 25 to 40 years old and middle-aged adults who are 40 through 65. Whether you're just starting your career and you don't have any kids yet, or you're entering or at that retirement age, you have a little bit more disposable income, which is what we're looking for here. We also have typically urban dwellers, so people who are from the city who want to learn more about agriculture, or local residents, people from the Finger Lakes who want to learn more about that local agricultural community. They typically have moderate to high income and higher education, and some of their interests include sustainable agriculture, unique experiences, artisanal foods, and investing in local businesses. Some other markets we're taking a look into are foodies, which is about 35% of the American population, as well as the tourism market. So what does the tourism market look like in the Finger Lakes? Well, they have an average of 5.56 million visitors per year that spend about $4 billion, and they stay about 2.4 days. So if we were able to take every tourist from the Finger Lakes on our tours, we would have over 250,000 tours just in that region. There truly is nothing else like Finger Lakes agricultural tours. In general, adult agricultural education doesn't really exist. It's based on your own personal research, which isn't as accurate or immersive as our tours, being on the ground with the producers. So let's look into our finances a little bit. Our revenue streams come entirely from our all-inclusive tickets. So when you purchase a ticket with Finger Lakes Agricultural Tours, You pay for your tasting, your tours, your transportation, your lunch, and a farm stipend for those businesses that aren't agritourism ventures all year round. Our unit economics, so our total cost per tour is $1,960, and with our tickets priced at $150 a person, our revenue is about $3,300, giving us a profit of $1,340 with a margin of 40%. With such a healthy profit margin, of course we're looking to expand to more opportunities in New York and nationwide. So in New York, we're looking at Buffalo and New York City, and across the nation, we're looking at Seattle, Washington, Austin, Texas, Green Bay, Wisconsin, and Lexington, Kentucky. So you might be wondering, why those cities? What's there? Well, there's two things we're looking for. What agricultural ventures exist there? So what kind of agriculture can we look into? And what does the tourism market look like? So these are the average number of tours for all of these cities. And just to give you an example of what some of these tours might look like, in New York City, you have a unique opportunity to look into urban agriculture, like aquaponics and microgreens. In Lexington, it's the horse capital of the world, where it's a huge racehorse industry, and actually the connection there to Windstar Farms, which housed the last Triple Crown winner, whose name was Justify, who won in 2018. And in Austin, we have a unique opportunity to look into the rodeo industry, such as American bucking bulls and broncos, barrel racing, team roping, you name it, we can look into it. Going back to the Finger Lakes, if we have about 8 tours a week for 20 weeks, that's from June 1st to October 1st, we can be over $500,000 business in just a very short period of time. If we were able to move into those 7 locations, which is about a 5-year plan, we would be a multi-million-dollar business within that 5 years. But of course, we're looking to expand agricultural education across the country to inform consumers across the United States. So Finger Lakes Agricultural Tours, the honest and transparent storytellers of the agriculture industry. Thank you.
How do you plan to market?
So we have a 3-pronged marketing strategy. Luckily, with my background as a strategic communications major, that means I have a background in advertising, public relations, as well as marketing. We're going to take a 3-pronged structure. So the first prong is social media and a website, our digital strategy. So of course, targeted advertisements, real-time marketing, things like that. Our second approach is to work with local hotels and Airbnbs to push our events so that people, when they're staying there, want to push those destination tours. And then our third prong is working with other local businesses like Corning Glass, Buttermilk State Park, Watkins Glen, the racing industry, things like that. Again, destination tours, things you're looking to do while you're there.
Of the tourist market you identified, like what percentage actually go and do these types of tours like today?
So I actually did a survey and I had over 100 responses. That's through just community groups on Facebook, as well as like a general interest, has over 100 respondents, and I actually have 46 signups for my first tour, which is going to be on July 27th of this year. But with the Taste New York, that's huge in the Finger Lakes region, so a lot of people are already looking for local food sources. And being able to taste these products while you also get an educational aspect, that's something different that no one else has.
I mean, there are wine tours.
Mm-hmm.
How do you differentiate from those in the Finger Lakes?
So wine tours, you go to drink. They're typically
Market research, I call it.
Yes. They're typically $250 to $300 with your transportation included. So definitely much more expensive than the agricultural tours. And again, they don't really have that educational experience. And also with our tours, you're experiencing 4 different industries within one day. And we're actually doing, at the winery we're doing our tour at, you actually get to taste in the vineyard, which is kind of different than a lot of places do it. So you get to be out there with the grapes and taste your wine, which I think is pretty interesting. Seeing the whole journey.
Mm-hmm.
Any more questions, judges?
Just a suggestion, you plan to go national, it's Finger Lakes Agricultural Tools. Would that name stick with you or?
It might change.
Yeah.
Something I've thought about is my family farm prefix. So I didn't grow up on a farm, but we do have registered Holsteins, which is a breed of dairy cattle that I've been able to show when they live on a farm. And that's called T-Destined. So it actually stands for our last name, and then the destined part is destined for greatness. So I've kind of thought about doing T-Destined tours, but
How would you, sorry,
No, I'm done.
how would you manage having this venture over in the Finger Lakes and then expanding across the country? Like, are you gonna hire managers? I mean, it's hard to keep control over the experience.
absolutely. So there's tons of invested youth members across the country, just like myself, who are looking for jobs where they don't want to be directly in the farm market, but they want something a little bit outside of that, which is exactly kind of what I'm doing. So those will be our tour guides. That's going to be one of our big expansion pieces. Of course, marketing is going to be the biggest part of that expansion budget. And then also research and development, so looking into farms into other areas, talking to them, figuring out if they fit into our creative stance on how this works, and fitting into our mission and things like that, and also fitting into that, are they representative of the agriculture that's there? So research and development, tour guides, and marketing are basically the staff structure that we'll need to expand.
No, you should come to Saratoga next and work with Farm Hub.
Yeah.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.